and what's not. But what if one of those unbreakable rules was about to be completely shattered? That's what we're diving into today, a claim that could tear down one of the oldest, highest walls in all of algebra. So, get this. What if a problem that the world's greatest minds called impossible for 200 years was just solved? I mean, a challenge that's been a mathematical law for centuries might have just fallen. This is the story of a potential revolution in how we even understand numbers. Okay, so to really get what a huge deal this is, we've got to go back in time. We need to understand the barrier itself, this wall that was built almost 200 years ago. All right, at the very heart of all this is something called the polynomial equation. And yeah, you probably remember these from school. The goal seems simple enough: find the exact value for x. For something like x squared, it's pretty straightforward. But as you start adding more powers, x to the third, x to the fourth, x to the fifth, finding that one perfect answer gets exponentially harder. And 1824, that's the year the wall went up. Before this, you had mathematicians in this big race, solving equations up to the second, third, and fourth degree. But when they hit the fifth degree, bam, dead end. Everyone hit it. And then along comes this Norwegian mathematician, Niels Henrik Abel. Now, he didn't just fail to solve it. Oh no, he proved it couldn't be solved. This became known as Abel's impossibility theorem, and it basically became a fundamental truth. It said, look, once you get to the fifth degree or higher, there is just no general formula out there to find the exact answer, period. And the consequence of that? Well, for 2 whole centuries, the best anyone could ever do were just approximations. Think of it like this. You're trying to draw a perfect circle by hand. You can get really, really close, right? But it's never going to be truly perfect. Computers could get us 99.999% of the way to the answer, but they could never, ever give us that pure, absolute algebraic truth. But what if that foundational truth was just a huge misunderstanding? This right here is where our story takes a seriously dramatic turn. So let's meet Professor Murad Sultan Ezouati. He's the mathematician who looked at that 200-year-old wall and didn't see a wall at all. He saw a door. His claim is that the limitation was never in the math problems themselves, but in the tools we were using to try and solve them. And this is the crucial part. He's not just questioning Abel's theorem, he says he has definitive proof against it. And that proof? A complete, exact, symbolic solution for an equation of the 20th degree. Now, a symbolic solution isn't just a number, it's the perfect formula. And according to 2 centuries of algebra, it simply shouldn't exist. So what we have here is this incredible conflict. It's the old classical way of thinking versus this brand new, totally revolutionary approach. I mean, it's a real intellectual showdown. In one corner, you've got the giants of mathematics, Abel and Galois, whose work has basically defined the limits of algebra for generations. And in the other corner, you have Ezouati's theorem, which pretty much says those limits are just an illusion. This really breaks down the 2 different worldviews. On one side, you have the classical methods saying anything above the 4th degree is impossible. But on the other, Ezouati's theorem claims to have exact solutions. The old way has to settle for approximation, while the new way promises 100% symbolic accuracy that you can verify. But, the biggest difference here might be philosophical. Classical algebra just accepts that there are limits. It's this kind of mathematical fatalism. This new approach, it completely rejects that. It says every equation has a perfect solution just waiting for us to find it. So, the big question is, how? How does he claim to do it? How do you solve something that's been considered unsolvable for literally centuries? Well, the key is a brand new tool, something called the universal recursive formula. Look, the math itself is super complex, but the core idea is actually pretty simple. It's a method that takes a hopelessly tangled up problem and gives you a way to systematically break it down into smaller, simpler pieces that you can solve. So here's kind of how it works conceptually. You start with this monster 20th degree equation. Then you apply this recursive formula, and it solves one tiny piece. Then that answer is used to solve the next piece, and so on and so on. It's like a systematic chain reaction, and the amazing part is, it's exact at every single step. The polynomial basically solves itself, generating its own perfect answer without any guesswork at all. And this is what you get at the end. It's not a simple number you can just punch into a calculator. No way. It's this beautiful, complex, pure symbolic expression. What's being called the exact algebraic truth of the equation. It is the very thing that classical math said was impossible to even write down. So, if this claim actually holds up to peer review and gets verified by the wider math community, well, the implications are just staggering. I mean, truly mind-blowing. If this is for real, it's a complete paradigm shift. We go from a world of just getting close to a world of exactness. A problem that for centuries symbolized impossibility would suddenly become a gateway to brand new discoveries. That finish line from 1824, it could become the starting line for a whole new era in math, suggesting that maybe, just maybe, algebra has no upper limit at all. Now, of course, the mathematical world is going to be the ultimate judge of this incredible claim. But it leaves all of us with a really fascinating question to think about. After 200 years of accepting a limit, are we on the verge of discovering there was never really a limit there at all?